Welcome to the VR Gaming Podcast. You can listen to this on audio platforms, pretty much all of them as far as I know. And you can also go on YouTube and listen, but you can also watch video. So if you're currently just like an audio listener, I recommend go check out the podcast on YouTube and subscribe. If you're YouTube Premium, you could play it with the screen turned off. That's what I do with a lot of podcasts. So as always, this is Justin, MAME fan on YouTube, and I'm here with Alex, also known as Virtual Insider on YouTube. What's going on, Alex?
Hiya.
Hi.
Hi. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great too.
Marvelous.
So we'll just get into it. Recently near me there was this DCXR meetup thing, and I've been there before, like I don't know, one other time, and this one was at the Brendan Ereeb Center for Computer Science and Engineering. So that was a big reason why I wanted to go. That's at the University of Maryland. So Brendan Ereeb was the CEO of Oculus, and he was the co-founder, and so he donated like $31 million to the University of Maryland, and then they built this building that I'm showing right here with that money. And wow. I think they do VR stuff in here and computer science and stuff. So the DCXR meetup was in this building. So I was like, all right, I want to go check this out because of the Oculus connection, the Brendan Ereeb thing. So I went there, and I live near DC, so it wasn't that far. And let me see, here's another view inside coming up. I'm having troubles with OBS. So this is like what it looks like in there. It was a confusing arrangement of the way the place was set up. And look up at those lights. The lights are just like all over the place.
I can't see it, by the way, just so you know.
You can't see it?
You're not sharing your screen with me.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen with you. Crap. All right, I'm going to do that.
You should do it live. Yeah,
do it live
so people can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Share my screen.
I'll talk while you do it.
All right.
Oh, how's everyone doing tonight? Are we doing good?
I don't know if you're seeing it.
I can see Discord.
Change windows.
Yeah.
Now you're going to see it.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Is it like full screen?
I can see the lights that you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So then I took, okay, so I'll show you you didn't see the front of the building. There's the front of the building.
Yes, nice.
Can you see at the bottom? It says the Brendan Ereeb Center for Computer Science and Engineering.
I can see it.
All right. So then here's a photo I took of the lights when I was inside there. When I looked at these lights, there's something I thought of immediately, and I thought of you.
Now, me?
Yeah, I thought of you. Do you know
why?
There's a word that you used that I like, and I was thinking these lights are all higgledy-piggledy.
Oh, yeah.
Would that be the right word to use? I think so.
Yeah. They are higgledy-piggledy.
They are all higgledy-piggledy.
They're all over the bloody place.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So then I went to this meetup thing, and here's this guy here had an Apple Vision Pro. Yeah. So like during most of this thing, he was wearing his Apple Vision Pro. I don't know if he was recording or what he was doing. So there's like a presentation they were doing. So this guy sitting by the podium thing, he was talking about VR and like emerging things, and talking about like pass through and eye tracking and the main players. He was talking about Meta, HTC, Vario, Apple. But then these people here started talking, but they were mostly just talking about their companies and kind of promoting their own businesses. Like some of them did, like the woman in red, she did education with VR not for elderly people. Like, and then the guy in all black did some sort of artsy type of stuff in DC. The guy holding the microphone, his whole company does like 360 video. And then the woman on the left, her company was like Lighthouse XR, and they do, I think, VR recovery for like substance abuse.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm not sure how that works exactly. But anyway, yeah, it was mostly them talking about their businesses and stuff. And I talked to some of the people that were there, and a lot of them were developers, but then a lot of them were people that were more interested on the business side of things. From the people I talked to, there weren't any gamers there, really. Like, I started talking to a guy about games, and he didn't seem he had any clue what I was talking about. Yeah, so
Okay.
not really my type of thing.
Not
But anyway,
really.
I just
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
I thought I'd talk about it, especially because of the Brendan or Reed connection. He
yeah.
donated that 31 million to the University of Maryland, but he was a University of Maryland dropout. He never even finished his degree because I guess he had so many business opportunities that he just
Probably,
said,
yeah.
I don't even need college. And now I looked up his net worth. It was like between either 400 million or over a billion. It didn't seem, it's a pretty big
It's a big
range.
range. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's it for that one. I'll go to my first game,
Bootstrap
Bootstrap
Island.
Island.
Yeah.
So this game is a survival kind of shipwreck game, and it's in early access. So let me here I'm like explaining some stuff. So you start off shipwrecked on an island, just like kind of like Memories from Beyond a Coral Sea. But
Yeah.
this is a more brutal survival game where you're going to be attacked by animals, and you have to worry about your health on your hand. You see my hand there. There's health, there's thirst, and there's hunger. So you have to go around and collect coconuts and get the water and the coconut meat out of them. You have to maybe kill crabs and cook them on a fire. There are other animals in this game you can kill and eat. And it's an exploration game. You're going to find a rock, and like right here in this video, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see you have to knock the lock off with the rock, and sparks will fly. The graphics are really impressive in this game. So in this chest, I got a knife. So the
Yeah.
knife is one of the things you can unlock if you play for long enough. Like, there's some items, like there's a knife, there's a water bottle, there's a musket. So there's things like that that you can unlock. The more nights you make it in the game, maybe there's a certain number of nights you have to make it. Like, I don't know, maybe you have to make it 3 nights and you unlock the knife. Then
Right.
maybe 7 nights and you unlock the bottle, and then something like that. And you're gonna have to build a fire or else you're dead. So you have to find wood and kindling, and you can use these coconut husks as kindling. And by the time it starts getting dark, you got to make a fire, or yeah, you're just not going to survive the night because the animals are going to pounce on you and kill you. And you can also find a gun. So a gun, it's like the type of gun where you have to pour the gunpowder into it and then drop the the bullets like a sphere, drop it in there, and then cock it back, and you get one shot. So every time you fire it, you better aim well, or it's
Yeah.
it's going to be really hard to reload. And I like this game a lot, but it's very buggy. You're going to encounter a lot of bugs, and I've been having an issue. I'm using a 4090, but every time I play this game, after like an hour or so, I get this out of video memory error, and the game crashes. So, I don't know. I think this game's $20 for
How much
someone like
content's
me.
in there?
Yeah, there's not that much content. So like you start out on the beach, then you walk through this jungle area, then you get to this area where there's kind of this like mountain you can climb. And the climbing in this game is cool. The climbing actually feels weighty. Like most games you just climb and it's really easy. The climbing in this actually feels kind of like you're struggling the whole time. And I've never seen that in a VR game, where it
Yeah,
actually
it
feels.
feels very realistic, I found. Like everything felt like it had weight. Like when you open the coconuts, like you have to smash them. It just felt very intuitive as well. Like you see something and you think, "How can I do that?" You just think, "How would I do it in real life?" And then you
Yeah,
just do it and it works. So yeah, I
yeah,
think the game mechanics are really well done. They've done a really good job. And like you say, everything just feels like it's got a bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel like floaty. Like peeling the coconuts off, you've really got to like feel like you've got to force them open. You can't just easily rip them apart. And yeah, it's I think it's decent. I just think it just needs more. Like, is it? I don't know. It like, do you just constantly starting on the beach and then you just have to survive the beach? Is that basically
Yeah, every
the game?
time you start, yeah, it's a roguelike, and every time you start on the beach. Or you start like on an island a little bit off. Like, see, there's some little islands over there. You sometimes start on one of those, and then you just have to make your way. Originally, I thought there's a volcano on this island, and it erupts every morning. It erupts, and I thought that, all right, I probably have to make my way to the volcano, but you actually can't get to the volcano yet. I'm guessing that later they're gonna
It's
make
probably gonna
that.
be like the end game or something
Yeah,
at some
yeah.
point.
But right now, as far as I can tell, the end game is the ship, and
Oh,
you can get to the ship. Like, I got to the ship just by swimming to it. I didn't know. I don't know if you tried that,
no, I never got that far.
but you can also. I'm sure you're not supposed to do that. You can get to the ship by going through the land also. So once you go all the way through the land, you go through the jungle, then you go past that kind of mountainous area, then you'll walk through this archway, and then you'll be at the ship. And
What happens when you get to the ship?
in the ship, there's a special item that is kind of a permanent upgrade. And after that, as far as I can tell, there's nothing else to do.
Right, so that's basically what. Yeah, I think they've got a really good concept, and the mechanics feel really satisfying. So I think they've done a good job with that. It's just they just need to build out. Obviously, it's early access, so it's not a final game. But yeah, they just need to build out like more to do, like more biomes and areas to go and explore and stuff.
Yeah, did you have
But
any
yeah,
performance problems?
oh yeah, performance was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so I had a 4090, and I had those, out of video memory errors, and then the developers aren't very helpful, and they tend to just tell you, you have a hardware problem. They tend to not blame the game, and I'm like, no, this is the only game that has ever given me this problem. It's your game. You need to fix your game.
Yeah, it definitely needs some optimization because, to be honest, I played the demo a while ago on the Index, and that's all. That's what I'm basing it on because I tried playing it with the Quest 3 with the link cable, and I just
Hmm.
couldn't get performance good enough at all. I couldn't even play it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
playing it with virtual desktop, and of course that's gonna hurt performance. But yeah, when I was using the link cable, I just couldn't play anything, and I don't know why. I still haven't tried it since that update that supposedly they added 4000 series graphics card support. I still haven't tried it yet to see if that's better now. Um,
if you like virtual desktop, then just stick with it. I think.
yeah, it's working great for me. So I use
Yeah.
VDXR with H.264 plus at 5,000 megabytes per second, or megabits per second. And the only way you can get not 5,000, 500. The only way you can get 500 is by disabling the automatic bitrate option. And that's an option on the Streamer app. And I've told some other people that, and they tried it, and they said it helped a lot for them. It like really improved the performance for them. Um, so like last I talked to you, I thought you had an audio problem with Bootstrap Island. You fixed that?
Yeah, that was me being stupid.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, for some reason, when you use Steam VR, the audio was coming through my headphones fine, but
Hmm.
this uses like the native Oculus runtime, and I have to manually switch the audio source within Windows, otherwise it comes
Oh.
through to
Oh,
my normal headphones. So I
whenever I play this, it always opens in Steam VR. I'm not sure why.
think that's a virtual desktop thing. With link cable, it doesn't. It opens up in just
Okay.
regular. Yeah,
Huh.
Oculus. Steam VR doesn't open.
All right. Uh,
Some games don't.
so in this game, I mean, right now there are three different animals that are going to attack you. These like right, I think they're attacking right now. There's these wolf-like or coyote-like
Dogs.
creatures,
Yeah.
and then there's these giant lizards, sort of like Komodo dragons, and then there's bats. My favorite are the bats. Have you seen them all?
Yeah, the bats are cool.
Yeah.
The fire effect's really good as well, like the way the
Yeah.
flames kinda move around,
Yeah,
and,
and the
like,
embers.
when you swing your hand, like, it feels got, like, an intensity to it, like, with the way that the flame kinda lights up and simmers down. Like I say, they've done a really good job with the gameplay mechanics. I think that's the main thing. I think they've definitely got some skills when it comes to getting these gameplay mechanics to feel really good and realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it just needs more game and some optimization, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this was the first video I did. Then a bunch of it got a lot of views and people were saying do more of this game, so I did another video that I just uploaded.
Right.
And but I didn't yeah, at the end of this video, I get the out of video memory error, and at the end of my second video it happened again. I was thinking maybe it won't happen this time, maybe they've patched it, but nope.
So would you
But
recommend it, or do you think you should wait for,
I
updates?
would recommend it if you like survival type games and you don't mind dying over and over. You know, you're okay with the whole roguelike type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, it's
Um,
Bootstrap Island. It's $20. $20, did you say?
yeah, $20 is last I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
And people were complaining a lot that like the days were too short. Then the developer lengthened the day, and now people are saying they want a peaceful mode. Like they don't want to have to worry about the animals. They just want to be able to like explore. And I
Yeah.
think I saw the developers are saying they're going to add that in too. So they are listening.
Mhm. Good.
Yeah. So I guess you want to go to Vampire, the Masquerade Justice.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
I think you finished this, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I finished it. It was not easy, definitely.
'Cause I've put, like, 4 hours into it now,
Hmm.
and I'm finding it, like, really easy. Like, you feel really overpowered. Did you know that you can literally just walk up and punch them?
I discovered that very late in my in my gameplay.
You can
Yeah,
literally just punch them a couple of
yeah,
times
and then
and
they're
knock them
yeah.
out.
I think they'll
Yeah.
die.
Or die, yeah. I mean, it's
Or
like you don't even have to use your powers if you don't want to.
yeah, before
Yeah.
I learned the punching thing, I was like I was dying a lot. Like because as soon as you get detected, a lot of you're a lot of times you're kind of dead until you've if they have guns, which they usually do. Um, but yeah, once I figured out the punching thing, it helped a lot. Let me see how much time I have in this game. You said you're at 4 hours.
About 4 hours, yeah. I
Let's
just did another mission.
see,
I enjoy
eight
it though. It's
eight
fun.
point one hours. So
Yeah. About
maybe you'll
halfway
start
through.
getting to some frustrating parts a little bit later.
I am enjoying it though. Like visually, it looks really nice. I think we mentioned last week in the headset.
Yeah, it looks better than this
Really,
trailer. This trailer is Quest footage.
yeah, it looks really good. I was really impressed visually, and
Yeah,
like the gameplay is it's a little bit buggy here and there, but overall, I thought it was pretty well done. I love climbing up and stalking people, and then like I say you've got so much power. You can just like rip into people, punch them a couple of times. Yeah, it's a good game. I definitely recommend it if you want if you want some sort of stealthy game. I think it's probably one of the best stealthy sort of games in VR.
yeah. The places where it gets hard, I just saw in the trailer. There's places where there's just like enemies everywhere, like in the scene that they were just showing. But what I was doing that might have been like why was dying so much was I was using the crossbow pretty much all the time. I wasn't using his vampire powers, and maybe you're using
Yeah.
those powers a lot more.
No, I'm not really using them. I use
Okay.
the sneak up them because you can get up behind them, and put your head to the neck and bite them and kill
Yeah.
them that way.
Yeah.
I'll do that a lot. You can like sneak up on someone,
Yeah.
uh, and then you can like do a blink attack. Because if you use your powers, then you drain your like hunger, so then you can't use your powers anymore. I found that one of the best powers is you can make yourself invisible. I
Yeah.
just found
Yeah.
if you get spotted, then immediately go invisible, sneak round the back of them, and just bite the neck, and then you kill
Well,
them, and you
that's
get
that.
your
Sorry, that's an upgrade. So you have to get. So there's this whole skill tree thing where you can upgrade your abilities. And initially, that power once they've detected you, you can't hide. But there's an upgrade
Oh,
where there's an upgrade in the skill tree where if they detect you and then you do the invisibility, that then they can't see you anymore.
I must have done that because I went into a room with like loads of them, and I just went invisible, snuck round a corner, and then yeah, managed to just deal with it. It's
Well, yeah, maybe if you sneak around a corner, as long as they don't know, then
I don't
they just don't
yeah,
know where you are.
I don't think they were like fully detected. They were kind of like, where they just start to say, "Oh, I see you" or something, but it wasn't
Yeah,
like full, I guess. But yeah, it's still a good game. I do recommend it based on what I've played. Um, it's just kind of a bit easy so far, I would say.
easy for Alex, not for me.
We'll see. If I've played well, I'll try and finish it for next week, and I'll just give an update
Yeah,
on whether it does get a lot harder, but, I still liked it. I
yeah.
think it's
Oh
good either
yeah,
way.
I like hard games, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you want some challenge anyway.
Vertigo 2 is hard as hell.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, like so. Okay, the final boss, I couldn't figure out how to beat the final boss, so I had to look at a video online and like YouTube video, and then I never would have guessed to do what was in the video. So that's an example of a place where I was like, I just kept dying over and over again.
Yeah,
So hopefully you'll suffer a little bit there.
hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. Anything else?
I don't think there's anything else to say on that, but we already talked about it last week, and
Yeah.
it's more of the same, really. It's a good game. I recommend it, especially if you want some sort of, stealth VR game.
You did mention bugs. The only kind of buggy thing for me was sometimes I would try to bite someone's neck and it wouldn't work. Is that what you're referring to?
Nothing major, like I say, sometimes one thing I found is that if you bite someone and then after you let go of the neck, you can,
Mm-hmm.
like, literally fling them up into the air, like,
Yeah.
kind of comical. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but yeah, I was just kinda, like, purposely
It is supposed to be like that.
oh,
Like,
it is?
yeah, it is supposed to.
I was just, like, throwing them way up into the air, and then they were
Yeah.
just, like,
That's a
flying off the map.
mechanic to where if you throw them, you get this like bonus in your hunger meter or whatever.
Oh, is that where you take them to, like, the red? Because there's, like, a bar, and then there's, like, a red line in the bar. I guess if you take it to that, that's when you can, kind of power it feels pretty cool, though, 'cause you do like I say, you do feel really powerful in this game.
Yeah.
You feel like you're the guy, obviously, that's stalking them rather than you're. Because I don't like stealth games where you're powerless and you have to hide and you sneak in and you can't actually do anything back. So being
Yeah.
able to sneak, you feel like more like you're a predator rather than you're a survivor, if that makes sense. You feel like you're stalking people to kill them rather than having to hide so you don't get killed.
What about the parts with sniper rifles? Did you die much there?
I've only got to one part and I just used that invisibility and then you can just walk past.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll go to the next one. So this is Heartshot. This came out recently. This is PCVR only. Alex didn't play this. I did. I left a negative review because this game had a lot of issues. So the first thing I noticed was when I moved my head, the world moved. It also moved in this odd way that I don't think I've ever seen in any other game. And other people on the Steam forums said the same thing. And I don't know if it's because I'm using virtual desktop, but I also saw a guy using Index say it happened to him too. So I don't know what that's about. It's like a team of two developers, and I think this is the first game
Yeah.
they've ever made. And so then also like the graphics, like in some places they're very pixelated, which I'm okay with, but it's a little bit too pixelated in some places. And like when I first got down in the forest, you do this crash into the forest. It's like the trees are super pixelated, and then so the branches are undulating, kind of like I guess like there's wind, but then the tree trunks are undulating too. There's stuff like
Oh.
that. You're just like, what? It just didn't look right. Then, of course, the gun angle was terrible. It was like you had to almost break your wrist to be able to fire at enemies. But they've patched that, and then people that care about like smooth turning and snap turning, I can't remember what it was, but some of the one of those wasn't an option. So people were complaining about that. I do all physical turn in games like this, so I didn't
Yeah.
care. But then people were complaining that once they picked smooth turn or whatever, once they died, it went back to snap turn. And a big problem. I played for 30 minutes and then I walked over to a door and then bam, out of nowhere, the whole screen went black. And then I saw other people saying that happened to them too. So the game just like crashed or something. And then when I went back to the main menu, there was no continue option. It just was only new game. So then I read on the forums, people were saying there's no save. It doesn't save your game. And they were like, the developers were like, yeah, we're trying to figure that out, why it doesn't save your game. So like, that's pretty much unplayable if it doesn't even save your game. Like,
Mm.
I'm not sure if they fixed that yet. Maybe they have. So obviously, I would not recommend this at all until they fix all these issues. I will buy it if they fix all that stuff, including the weird head movement thing, because it still seemed interesting to me. Like the story maybe seemed kind of interesting. It seemed like it could be fun. It seems like they're trying to do Metal Gear Solid here in VR.
I don't know. It looks more action from what I've seen. I
Yeah.
think it looks interesting. It's early access, obviously. So even if they fix all these problems, it's only got the first chapter. So I don't know how much content there is, but I think they're gonna like release each chapter every few months or something.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's one. I'm excited to try it when it's kind of had some updates. But I think right now, I think just keep an eye on it, and then once it's had a few updates, maybe give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there were some YouTubers that gave this positive reviews. I don't understand why. I don't get it. I, I
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I don't know if sometimes it's because they get free keys and then they feel kind of like they owe it to developers. Sometimes they want to like support VR and they think that if they give a negative review, it's gonna like hurt VR. But I personally don't feel that way at all. I think you need to be honest so that other gamers know what they're dealing with, like so they don't have to waste their time finding out that
Yeah,
this is actually not ready at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, next game. This is a much better game. I don't know if you agree. Fracked.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Much better than Heartshot.
I haven't tried Heartshot, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. This is uh this is from your list. But
Is it?
I beat this. Yeah, it was on your
Oh,
list.
oh
So
yeah,
did
shit.
you play it much?
Oh yeah, I did play it. I played like 30 minutes.
Oh, you only
To be
did
honest,
30
I
minutes.
wasn't really. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it that much. You played the full. You played the full game.
Yeah, I played it. So I
'Cause
got
it's only like
this.
2 hours, I think.
Yeah, my play time says 2.4 hours. I got the demo when I had PSVR, and I liked the whole cover system. I think that's really cool. But
Yeah, the cover system's
what I
good.
hated is with PSVR, you don't have an analog stick. You just have this stupid move controller. So it was terrible to
Yeah,
control. So, but with, with with decent motion controllers that we have on PC, this was way better. So I enjoyed it a lot more. So
yeah. The cover system's
I
pretty
played all
good.
the way through it, and yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm just gonna explain what the cover system was. You just, I think I've seen it in other games, but you basically just kind of just grab the environment and pull yourself around. So you can walk up to like a box and then grab it and then just pull your hand up and then you'll kind of pull yourself behind the box. It saves you having to like use a crouch button or crouch physically. You can kind of just move yourself around quickly. I did like that. It does feel more analog rather than just like look behind this box. You can kind of peek over over a box and stuff, and uh, Yeah, that was nice. My main problem was the shooting, which just felt a bit, I don't know, I didn't like it that much. It
Were
it
the
just felt
enemies too
weak.
spongy?
Yeah, the shooting just felt weak to me, like, the pistol felt a bit weak. There was no real proper sights on the pistol, so I was struggling to aim.
Okay.
Like, when I was trying to shoot, I couldn't really see what I was aiming at. But
Mhm.
then you get, like, a machine gun, which you can just hip fire, and that's pretty easy. And then I was kinda just running around, and I just felt I was really I found it quite easy, like, the AI is pretty dumb, you can just kind of blast through them pretty quickly. Um, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll try it again, but it wasn't like I've got obviously a bunch of games I could play, and it was like, well, I don't really wanna play this over some of the other stuff, so
Yeah.
I kinda just stopped,
Yeah, the first
really.
30 minutes is yeah, it's very easy, but it gets a lot harder toward the end
Right,
where I was
yeah.
getting killed a lot. But maybe you
Might try it
wouldn't
again
die
then.
at all.
Yeah,
I
because 'cause
don't
I'm
know.
so good.
Yeah. I was just referring to your Vampire the Masquerade thing where
Well, I am better than you, so
yeah,
it's not
except
I'm
for
not
Vertigo
surprised.
2, except for that one. That's the one
Why?
that's the one
You
game
died
I
way
have.
more than me.
Oh, wait, 105 deaths versus
Yeah,
your whatever. Yeah.
I did 5
Uh
times
5 times? Yeah, that's what I figured.
the entire
What was
game.
the entire game? Wow.
Yeah,
Um
I
so
didn't.
yeah. My main problem with this game is very it's very repetitive and you fight the same enemies over and over again. There isn't enough enemy variety.
Yeah, there was only, like, what's it, like, 3 enemies or something? Then you get 3
Yeah.
guns, 3 enemy types, and the
Well,
gameplay is basically just shoot. There's a couple of skiing bits as well, which were okay. I didn't like the
yeah.
controls for the skis.
So the problem with the skiing is on the instructions tell you to tilt your head, and that's not what you should do at all. You should tilt your whole body. If you tilt your
Right,
whole body like you're actually skiing, it actually feels really good. But if you do
right.
what they say, they even give a picture of an HMD that where it's just like tilting by itself.
It
You're
felt
gonna.
really sensitive to me, like,
It
I
was,
was
yeah.
really struggled yeah, I couldn't, like, steer without suddenly steering, you know, the wrong direction or too much,
Well, did you
it
tilt your
felt really
head or your
tricky.
body?
I was tilting the head like it
Well,
says,
that's
so
fucked
maybe I
up.
need to tilt the body,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't tilt your head. Yeah, that's yeah. Do it like you're really skiing, and then it's actually
Right,
fun. Yeah.
yeah.
So you do get other guns that you'll get like a grenade launcher and you'll get a revolver and like a shotgun but they're like these little one-time things. So you only get like a few shots and then it disappears. So they're not permanent guns. As far as the regular gun, like there's something that looks like a Tommy gun or something. As far as the regular guns, all I can remember was a pistol and a machine gun. I don't really remember
Is there
getting
not a shotgun or anything?
I don't remember getting a shotgun as a permanent weapon.
Hmm,
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
mm.
So yeah, this doesn't have very good reviews on Steam, but I think maybe they patched it,
Is
maybe they improved it
how much is it,
since.
though?
Oh, I got it on sale for like 15 and I thought that was a good deal. I think it's 30 regular.
Yeah, that's the problem. $30 for 2 hours.
Yeah, that is the problem.
That's a lot of money for 2 hours
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I'm
it has good
surprised.
dialogue and good music and stuff, and I
Yeah, I
like
like
the
the art
graphic.
style.
Yeah, the art style is
Yeah, I
nice
thought
and
it looked
colorful.
pretty good. Yeah.
It's
It's
just
got
too
some good
short.
production values. It's just
Yeah,
the game length, and it's just repetitive, I thought. I could
yeah, it's
tell after
repetitive.
30 minutes it felt ultra repetitive.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think on a sale it could be worth a try, but I would never pay full price for it.
yeah. All right, we'll go to the
That was
next one.
Fracked.
Next one is Swarm 2. This is a new release. This is Quest only. I got a free key for this from the developers, so thanks for that. And so I never played the original Swarm. I'm not sure why. But it did interest me, but I think it looked sort of like to me that it was just kind of like you're stuck in one area, and
Mm.
that's my main issue with this game. It's like an
Like an
arena.
arena shooter. Yeah.
It's an arena shooter where you're flying around like Windlands, basically, but you're stuck in one spot. The graphics are really nice. I mean, they do
Yeah.
look like this
It looks
video.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the music I liked. So it had like hard rock or metal type of music, which is my type of music. And but it's a roguelike. So when I played, I died a lot. You just keep dying and then you'll get, some new upgrades and then you got to go in again. And then maybe you'll get a little bit further and then here's another little upgrade that'll help you and then you go in it again and it's so you just kind of end up doing the same thing over and over again. And that's not really. But then there are games like Compound. I love. That's a roguelike. But the reason I like Compound is its actual levels
Yeah.
instead of just being stuck in one kind of arena. But they do have boss levels. So you'll do like 3 levels and then this little bonus level where you just go around collecting shards and then you'll do a boss level. I got to the first boss level and I didn't beat it. And that's about it as far as how far I got. So,
Yeah. I don't like roguelites, so,
yeah, I know how
not
you,
probably gonna
yeah,
play it.
yeah. There's a leaderboard, so if you're into leaderboards, I like leaderboards, but an arena style thing I just can't do. Like a game like Windlands, I would much rather play because you're
Yeah,
actually going
Finlands
through a
is cool.
level. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is different than Windlands as far as the controls from what I could tell. Like you press the grip buttons to shoot out your web sling or whatever, and then it just pulls you. I don't remember in Windlands if it's just auto pull or do you have to
Yeah,
actually like pull your arms?
it auto pulls.
It auto pulls. Okay, so this auto
Yeah.
pulls. There are some games where you have to pull your arms to go, or at
Yeah,
least it helps you.
what's the one? Grad 2,
Oh yeah, Jupiter
that
grad.
was you have to pull yourself with that, so you, like, pull your
Yeah.
stick and then pull yourself. I prefer the auto pull system.
Okay. Well, this is auto pull, and then there's also a dash. So you push like up on the left stick, and then you'll like dash forward.
Yeah.
I found it hard to like kind of finesse it. It was hard to get if I wanted to get precisely to a specific spot. It was hard for me to get my like if I wanted to pick up an upgrade that was in a specific spot. It was hard to get to it.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I haven't heard other people talk about. For me, this game didn't have very good performance. I was seeing lots of stutters. So it
Right.
wasn't like in this video, it looks, nice and smooth.
You playing on Steam?
No, there's no Steam. It's only Quest.
Oh, is it Quest? Right.
Yeah. So I was on Quest 3 and I was having enough stutter issues where I was like, all right, they got to fix this. So, but I haven't heard, I watched or listened to some other reviews to see if anyone else mentioned it and they didn't mention it. Well, maybe
Yeah.
I'm more sensitive to it than other people, but it was very stuttery for me. Um, but if you're into this type of thing, roguelikes in an arena, like Underdogs, that game Underdogs came out recently. I have no interest in that because I don't want to be in an arena.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not into, like, gameplay. For me, the reason I don't like roguelites that much is because no matter how fun a gameplay loop is, generally, if I'm just doing the same thing over and over, eventually I'm gonna get bored with it. Whereas if you've got something that's got a bit more pacing, so you've got, like, moments like this where you're swinging and shooting, but then you've also got moments where you're, like, platforming between sections and stuff,
Hmm.
that makes things more interesting. Whereas if it's just constant shoot, fly, shoot, uh, that kind of just gets annoying after a while, I find.
Yeah. All right. Well, despite what I said about my personal opinion, here's the key. here's a here's here's the key for Swarm 2. I should
On the
probably say,
screen.
yeah, QPMR3 G9WQKRM466 9CJ6X HKG9J. So this is a quest code. You could play this on Quest 2 or Quest 3. And I'm going to have another code later to give away. And
Cool.
if you're on YouTube, you're seeing this on the screen, the code. So I have no idea who's going to get this first. Is it going to be audio listeners or is it going to be YouTube? All right, next game, Lethal Company. There's a free VR mod for Lethal Company. And we played this together with Josh. What do you have to say, Alex?
God, I'm just thinking of that guy who don't want to listen to us talk negative about stuff, and then yeah, I love it. It's great. I don't
Alfonso
know.
loves it.
It's one of those horror sort of co-op things, which you're either gonna love or you're not. And I just don't know if I'm a fan. Because the gameplay itself is basically you go to these moons and then you go into a building and then you have to find scrap. And you've got to find enough scrap so that after 3 days you can go to this other place and then you put the scrap into this thing and then if you get enough scrap then you get something else. I can't. You stay alive. If you don't get enough scrap then you die. They basically kill you. So um but whilst you're in these buildings and even out of the buildings getting to them, there's like monsters and stuff that are trying to kill you. Uh, each area, like when you land on a moon, they've got different like terrain and stuff. It looks a little bit different. But then once you actually get to the buildings, and based on what we saw, we put like 3 hours into it. They all looked the same, like inside, they all kind of look the same. There's a few different monster types, like, there's some that look like spiders, there's some are like blobs that chase after you, some that are like more like, humanoid type monsters. Um, but you basically it's the same thing. You go to a moon, you go into these buildings, you're looking for scrap, you're trying to stay alive, you need to get back to the ship and then fly off before you get killed, and then eventually you get enough scrap to be able to go to the end part and you sell your scrap and you do it again. You just do the whole thing over again, and you can buy things as well, so you can, like, buy torches and upgrade stuff. Uh, visually, it looks
By torch, he means flashlight, Americans.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you get
Yeah.
flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it looks like shit. Like,
It
the
does.
outside section especially, it looks really bad. Like,
Yeah.
we thought the game was broken. We thought, "What is this supposed to look like this?" Because it looks so bad. I mean, it was just terrible. Inside the buildings, it looks more normal, but outside just looks really weird. It's got the weird art style that just does not work well in VR, I don't think, personally.
And sometimes you jump
Um,
off your ship and you just land right into some quicksand and you're like fucking dead. Shit like that happens.
I feel like it's made for more, like, young people who were just, like, wanting to react and run around and scream and get
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
We didn't find it that scary, really. There's a few
No.
moments, like, when it was completely dark, I was like, I didn't really wanna be there, but yeah, it's one of those games that's got, like, it's become quite memeable and it's become really popular, but it's probably not our sort of game. If you'll know if you like Phasmophobia and stuff, you're probably gonna like this. Um, I don't think we liked it that much.
I was never into Phasmophobia or any of those types of games. Nah. I
Yeah.
do wonder. We only got those flashlights. I wonder if, like, what if we got weapons? Like, are there weapons you can get? And like, sometimes I don't know. In this video, somebody's flying around with a rocket or a jetpack. Like,
Yeah, you can get
I'm cu-
jetpacks and stuff. Yeah.
but it didn't
We
look
could
like
play
he was
some more.
controlling it. It looked like he was just flying like crazy all over the place.
Yeah. So it just feels like a meme game where it's just kinda stupid just for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
being stupid.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's alright.
I think a Roblox kid maybe made it. I think that's.
Oh, did he?
I think so. I think that's what Alfonso said.
Alright.
Yeah. All right. So go to the next. I'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Genotype. So this was originally a Quest game. So I got it for Quest 3 and I started playing it and I liked it. But then they announced that they were coming to PC on Steam. So then I refunded it sorry, Lee. Lee from the Recentered podcast, he's the one that gave me the referral, but then I refunded it, so then he didn't get his referral money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, bro.
uh, so then I waited for the PC version, and from what I can tell, the PC version is pretty much the same as the Quest version, but it's gonna be higher frame rate. Like the Quest version 72 FPS, and you can go up, much higher to whatever you want on PC. But I think it's pretty much the same because they did a Quest 3 update where they like this and this huge combat update. They did the combat update and they improved the textures for Quest 3. So I think it ended up just pretty much looking the same graphically. But this game's
Yeah.
really good. It's like a Half-Life kind of game, going around exploring, fighting aliens. All your weapons are aliens that are on your right hand glove. So they have different abilities. There's even some abilities where you can. There's a creature where you can like kind of like teleport into this alien. It's called Brain Link, and then you can crawl around inside little vents as this little
Oh,
tiny alien. And it's really cool. And then you can
that's
go in there
cool.
and like find little hidden items, and you can get into rooms that you wouldn't have been able to get into, as a human. And like there are places where
Yeah.
that's the only way to progress. So like maybe you need to go through that vent to get to that room where you pull a lever that'll let the human in on the other side,
Right.
that type of thing. But actually, when you use that little tiny alien to go into a room, you can turn into the human. You're not like kind of like almost like you've shrunk yourself down, like Honey I
Yeah.
Shrunk the Kids, and then you enlarged yourself again.
Yeah.
And then so there are these little computer monitors all over the place where you can upgrade your weapons and upgrade abilities and craft items and stuff. And it has an interesting story and dialogue going on, and there's a guy talking to you the whole time. And yeah, I would recommend it. I
You
think
finished it, did you?
you only played it a little bit though, right? Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah. I've put like 2 hours, I think. Yeah, I
Okay.
like it. I think visually, obviously, you can tell it's made for the Quest, but it still looks good. Like they've got some nice lighting and stuff, nice visual effects. You're on like a Arctic station or something, so it's got like the Thing vibes in a way.
Yes, definitely.
You're in
Yep.
like a lab sort of area in this like Arctic environment. Yeah, you've got a voiceover. The voice acting's pretty good. The story seems kind of interesting. You Yeah, I like the exploration side of it. I like just going around, like, if there's loads of stuff you have to pick up and kinda slot it into your wrist and then pull the trigger, and you've got, like, stuff you can obviously, like, just to mention, you can craft. So you can, like, collect loads of stuff, then you can use that resource to craft upgrades, and you can craft ammo, make ammo for yourself, and upgrade your gloves. I've not got that far yet where I can upgrade my guns and stuff. I
Hmm.
think the biggest thing that I don't like so far is just the combat's a bit. I don't like you get these obviously animals that you pull like a string on your hand and you can grow these animals out of your wrist, these
Yeah.
organisms, I suppose,
Yeah.
and you just feel a bit weak, like the enemies don't really react much to the shots. Um,
That is true that they
uh
don't, they often don't react much.
'Cause, like, you just shoot them, shoot and shoot because 'cause they've got quite a lot of health, so they're quite spongy. There's even,
Hmm.
like, these little tiny ones, like, run up, and even those take, like, 4 or 5 shots to kill. They're, like,
Hmm.
running around. I'd prefer it if some of the enemies, like, were really easy to kill, but were faster rather than everything being, like, constant shoot, shoot, shoot all the time.
You
I'm
will
hoping that, like
upgrade your weapons so they'll be stronger.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm hoping that as I upgrade, that that'll solve that problem, and obviously, I'm interested in some of the cool stuff, like you said, when you can shrink yourself down. I love that sort of stuff in VR. It feels really cool. Being really small and everything being giant in VR feels good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep
Ag-
playing. I do like it. But yeah, the combat's just the main thing at the moment, which I'm not like overly into.
What
It's
guns do you have?
okay.
There's the spitter. That's just like a normal kind of a normal pea shooter type thing. Then there's
Yeah, I've got that, and I've got the swarm gun, which is like a
the swarm
machine
one.
gun
I
type.
don't like the swarm one. I pretty much never use that gun because it's too weak. So spitter, I
Yeah.
stuck with the spitter for most of the game.
Did you?
Yeah,
You just
that
upgraded
was
it.
the most effective gun I found for me. Then the one that shoots, there's one that shoots flame. That one was way too weak for me for a lot of the enemies. I think it was like some
Yeah.
enemies are like maybe armored against it because it took too long to kill them. Then you'll
Yeah.
find you'll find some other weapons.
It would have been
Um,
nice if, like, because they have, like, these arachnoid type, like, four-legged sort of
yeah.
weird things, and it'd be cool if, like, when you shot them, like, the legs fell off, so they still had 3 legs and they were kinda hobbling around, or
They
just
do
some
they
sort of
do
reaction.
they actually do hobble around.
When they're
They do
weak,
that.
they kind of hobble a little. Yeah, yeah,
Like
but it would be just something a bit more, like, when you hit them, I just would like something just to feel like you're actually hitting them.
yeah. I see what you
Otherwise,
mean.
because I don't
Like they
I
flinch or something.
yeah, just some sort of reaction where they knock back or for a few seconds or something. Just something to makes you feel like you're hitting them rather than it feels like they're just soaking everything up and then eventually they just pop. Because I don't have the health bars on, because I don't like the health bars, so I can't even tell how much health they've got. I'm just, like, shooting and shooting and shooting, and eventually they just pop and disintegrate.
Oh, I can't even
Yeah, that's on
remember. Oh, so there is a health bar normally, and I guess
yeah,
you turned it
it's on
off?
by default. Yeah, I turned it off, yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay. About that brain link thing, one of the gripes I brought up with the developers is that when you do the brain link, your view resets to like your primary starting view or whatever the hell you call that. Like
Yeah,
if you're facing the vent that you're trying to go into and then you do the brain link, you could be facing 180 degrees the other way once you've switched into that little alien body. So then you got to do it's the same problem I had with Asgard's Wrath too, where whenever you went to the settings or the menu, it's never where you're looking. Like I had to turn around 180 degrees to find it, and it would always be where like my starting position is set, for VR.
right.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Oh, Sniper Elite, same problem. The menus were always in the same spot. They were never where I was looking.
Yeah, they're not linked to your head, they're linked to,
And
like, a
yeah, a fixed
space in
position. And
VR. Yeah,
why do they do that? Like in so many games.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
get it. Yeah, so that was
They
one
obviously
gripe. But
assume
then hmm?
people aren't gonna turn around maybe, like, in
They
real
assume
life or
people are
something.
seated. They
Yeah,
assume that's what they're doing, or they're using they're sitting in one spot and using the analog sticks to turn. And I'm always doing physical turns, so that's why it drives me crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Then what was the other thing? Well, you're gonna end up getting lost in this game and not knowing where to go because there are no waypoints, and sometimes it just doesn't tell you where to go. So like
Yeah,
I
there is
had
a
a bunch of
map, I could you
yeah,
actually
there's a
move the
map.
map around?
You
I
can move the map around. The game doesn't tell you that. You if you point your controller at it and you hold the trigger down, you can move the map around.
Oh, 'cause I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, but you only can see on the map where you've already been, not where
Right.
where you haven't been. But even once
It
the
doesn't,
whole
like,
map
show
is
you a
uncovered,
waypoint.
yeah, there's no waypoint, and once the whole map's uncovered, still there were a bunch of times where I was like, all right, where do I go now? And I just was going all over the damn place on the map, trying to find what did I miss something? And there are a bunch of rooms where enemies respawn. Like every time you go in there, they're gonna respawn, no matter what. So that got annoying.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
But I went on their Discord and I asked about it, and then that's how I was like, oh, I have to do that, and I wouldn't have guessed that I had to do what I had to do. So we'll see if you keep playing it, we'll see if you have the same issue.
Yeah, I will keep playing it. I do like it. It's just, the combat that's the main, because there is a lot of combat as well, actually. Like, feels like every room you go into, there's a bunch of enemies that come at you, so it's,
Yeah,
in
and
some ways, I would prefer less combat, to be honest.
it gets hard.
Yeah,
There's some rooms where they send so many enemies at you that yeah, you're gonna die for sure.
and
Yeah.
there's no it's like a save system, so you've gotta save at a certain point. So if
hmm
you die and you've not saved, you could lose a lot of progress.
That happened to me once. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll go to the next game. VR Skater.
You don't like this game?
I haven't played it since that I don't know. Was that like early access or was it a demo or something that I played back then?
It
I
was
don't
early
remember.
access.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't control it. I just couldn't control it.
the
It
controls are the
was
same. They've now
yeah, I
just
just
it's out of early access, it's launched into 1.0, and, they've obviously got loads more maps, and they've got progression, so you have to do certain things to unlock each level. It feels more like a obviously a full game now.
mhm.
Still not there's some new tricks actually I wanna do, like, you can grab the board and stuff now, and so I'm interested to try out more of it. Um, you didn't like the system for, like, because you have to obviously, you haven't got feet tracking or anything, so you kinda have to use your hands and then, like, use the triggers and stuff, and then, like, flick your hand, and then it'll do, like, a kick flip, or you can make it spin. Then you have to
Yeah.
but before you land, you have to grab the board again, kinda, like, to stop it spinning, otherwise you'll just bail and, yeah, I think it's a pretty decent system. I think it's a bit unforgiving. I think it could be a little bit more forgiving just so that you can do tricks a little bit easier, and
Mhm.
then the difficulty should be from more, stringing combos together and things rather than sometimes it's difficult just to, like, land a trick, never mind actually getting, like, a combo together.
Yeah, I probably never got a combo. I was just trying to do a single trick. Were you a skateboarder at any point?
No.
Yeah, I was a poser.
Oh.
That's all I was. I would
What did
wear like
you had a
skateboard.
skateboard?
I'd wear like skateboarding shirts and stuff, and like
Oh,
back in
would
the
you?
'80s. Yeah, like back in the
Oh my
'80s and
god.
shit. Yeah,
It's funny.
TNC surf design, all that type of shit.
Ah, right. You're a
Did you have
faker.
that over there?
Probably, I was never really into the skate. I don't think the skate scene was that big over here, like, when I was growing up. It was more of an American thing back then. Obviously, it's
Oh,
more
okay.
over here now, but yeah, no one really skateboarded when I was at school. Can't even remember anyone skateboarding.
Well, I was in elementary school when that was big, so there weren't many kids doing that in elementary school.
Yeah,
Maybe in middle and high school they were doing it. I don't know.
yeah.
Anything else about VR Skater?
I think it's decent. If you wanna it's the only real decent skateboarding game we've got. Like, if you want a skateboarding game, there's nothing else out there at the moment.
Well, you could
I
play
think
Tony Hawk with UEVR.
yeah, if you want to just play third person, you could just do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, this is made for VR, obviously, it's got VR controls. I think the system is cool. I just think, like I say, I think it's just a little bit unforgiving. I do need to put more time into it, but like I said, I've always just seemed to have got other games I'd rather play. That's the problem. But I think now it's out of full release. If you've had your eye on this game, like you've always fancied trying it out, but it was obviously early access, it's now out. It's full release. It's got all. I think there's 5 or 6 different courses. Yeah, there's a bunch of like challenges and stuff you can do. It's a full game, so if you want to try it, then I definitely recommend giving it a go.
I forgot to mention when I was in elementary school, maybe 5th grade, my uncle did get me a skateboard, and I didn't know anything about skateboarding. But then I decided, like, the street I grew up on was a pretty big hill. I decided I'm gonna go down this hill with no shirt on. So that's what I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and obviously I just wiped out,
Ew.
and I
Yeah, yeah.
slid down the road with no shirt on.
Wow.
So that's like my memory of skateboarding, having a bloody chest,
Oh, I did have a
and
skateboard actually. I've just remembered, but we used to. I never rode the skateboard. I used to ride it on my. I used to sit on it, and like we used to go down this big hill,
mhm.
and then I just slide down this hill, and then I'd use my feet to brake, and I'd literally wear my shoes out, and then my mum would go crazy at me because she'd have to buy me new shoes again. So I
Huh.
do remember now. Yeah,
Well, you were smarter with it than me.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't stand on it because I was just too scared.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would never just like stand with no shirt on and try and just. Yeah, that's insane.
yeah. I learned my lesson that day. All right,
Yeah.
we'll go to the next game. Titanic: A Space Between. This is another free key I got from the developer. Both these games, Swarm 2 and Titanic: A Space Between, I got like they offered the key to me. I was interested
It's
in this
on
game though.
it's on Quest
Like,
3 though.
yeah, it's just a quest game. It's Quest 2 also.
I think it's coming to Steam at some point as well.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So graphically, it looks pretty good. Um, it's kind of like it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played um a chair in a room, Green Water. Did you play that?
And I was too scared to play it.
Well, it's kind of like that, but I think you're not a scaredy pants anymore.
I
So
could
I
probably
think
do it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could do it now. It's kind of like that, except a chair in a room was more like you're stuck in one room. This is more like you're going through hallways, but it is an escape the room type of thing where it's just multiple scenarios where you need to figure out how to escape this. And in some of the scenarios, so if you have a fear of water, which I think you do, kind of, you have an open water fear, right?
Yeah, it's more
Well,
deep, like
okay.
water. Yeah.
And there's some places in here where you can drown, where the water keeps rising. So, that might freak some people out.
Yeah, because I like
Um,
Freediver, Triton Down. That was fun. That was
yeah, yeah,
like in a sinking ship type of thing.
yeah. So the the interactions in this game are kind of clunky. This is an app lab game. It's not a full Quest Store release, and maybe
Right.
that's why. Maybe somebody over at Meta didn't think it was ready. I don't know. But yeah, there's some interactions that are clunky. It's kind of feels not ready. One thing that I really didn't like was the main character's voice. He was so bad. He almost sounded like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead.
Right.
It's kind of like, I think, I think we have to go down this hallway. Ooh, it's like they hired like a janitor or something to do the voice. Then meanwhile, some of the other voices sound great. They have British thespians talking, and not that that's a
Yeah,
good British impersonation. You could
it
do
was
a better
amazing.
version. Yeah. Um. So that threw me off. Um. I played it like I don't know. I played at least an hour, and I got to some point where I just like couldn't figure out what they wanted me to do. They introduced a
So,
new mechanic, and
so
I
what's the
just was like,
overall gameplay loop then? Is it you just surviving a sunken ship with stuff trying to kill you? Is that basically it?
it's mostly just escape room stuff. Basically,
Right.
you're just finding
You
an
go through levels and
item.
stuff, or
Yeah, yeah, there are levels, and you find an item that you need to use here and then you need, go through here. Oh, that opens this door. Now we go here,
yeah,
and it tells a story as you're going through. Sometimes you're inside the ship, sometimes you're outside the ship, and sometimes the water I thought looked kind of bad, but sometimes I thought it looked good because there were times where it was like I can really obviously see that this is just some sort of repeating texture.
yeah.
Um, but then there are times where it looked more realistic. I wasn't sure why there was a variation in that. And they're trying to scare you sometimes, but nothing was scary to me. I, you know,
You don't get scared though,
I don't
so
get scared, but they would just have like some weird blob-looking monster walk across the room. Nothing actually came at me, but I only maybe played it for an hour. I
yeah.
think this is $20 on App Lab. I don't know. Didn't you say you thought maybe this is coming to PC or something?
It is coming to PC because the developer contacted me. They offered me a key, but I just said
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather get the Steam version. So when the Steam version comes out,
Hmm.
then I'll get a key. I'll try it out.
If they
Um,
enhance this thing for PC, I would try it again.
yeah, hopefully, but I've got a feeling it'll be just a. Generally, most things nowadays are just ports, like
Yeah.
direct from the Quest. But we'll see. It could like visually, like in the trailer, I think it looks cool. Like concept's cool. Obviously, you're on the Titanic, it's sinking. You've got to escape whilst also solving puzzles and having like monsters and stuff chase after you. It sounds like it could be interesting if it's done right. So I definitely want to try it myself when it comes to Steam. But yeah, it probably needs a bit more work.
And you can tell when you're playing it that it's a small dev team, and it kind of feels kind of like an older VR game. So that's why I brought up a chair in a room.
Yeah.
Just kind of made me feel like that. All right. So we'll go to the next game. Gran Turismo 7. You've been playing more of that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it obviously every week because I'm playing it a lot at the moment, but I just love this game. I just can't tell you how much this game it's just it's just so good. I mean, it's got so much content. I've put like 50 hours into it now, and I still feel like I've got loads of stuff that I wanna do. Visually, it's just immense. It looks obviously, with the PSVR 2, it's not, like, super, super sharp in the distance, but sometimes, like, when you've got cars, like, racing around you and stuff, and you can kinda see, like, just how detailed the cars are, and everything just looks so good, and, even, like, with the HDR and the OLED screens and stuff, it just looks really, really impressive,
Did the
and the
video
detail
screw
you
up
can
for you? Sorry.
yeah, it looks kinda weird. It's off to the side.
Damn it.
I don't
I
know
don't
what's
know how to
happened.
fix I don't know how to fix this now. All right, you can keep going.
I think you're selecting the wrong thing. Oh, you got it now. I think you're selecting it now. It's good for audio listeners.
There we go.
There you go. It's fixed it, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say other than if you like cars, if you like just like I just love the progression. It's got so many different cars and types of cars, and each car feels different to drive. Obviously, you're inside the cockpits, and all the cockpits are perfectly detailed with all the detail you can look, so you can look around and see everything, and it's just it drives great. The attention to detail as well, like in the tracks. You just got some cool stuff, like when you're on a track, there might be an aeroplane that flies directly above you, or there'll be like a train that's running alongside you in Tokyo, and there's just so much stuff, so much detail that it's just like unlike any other racing game I've tried, just in terms of just polish and clearly the budget that they've got for this game is just obviously way higher than most racing games. So it just makes it's like a proper true AAA racing game that you can play in VR. So yeah, if you're into racing games, then obviously you're definitely going to want to play this. Whether it's worth getting a PSVR 2 for it, obviously probably not. But now I've got it and now I'm playing it, it's like already justified the cost of the PSVR 2. Obviously at a cheaper price that I got it. Like I'm happy that I bought it because I've just it's all I want to play, honestly. I have a struggle I struggle to play anything else. So
It's all you
yeah.
wanna play? Wow.
I just love it, honestly. I mean, I'm a car guy anyway, so it's for me, it's like a dream.
Wow.
Yes, it's literally all I play. I mean, I've played a few bits and bats, but then I'm like, yeah, I'll go back to GT7. I
So
enjoy
that's
it
why
more.
you didn't wanna play, like, Heartshot and all these other games, you just wanted to play GT7.
If I'm gonna spend my spare time, it's like, well, yeah, I'll just play something that I really enjoy, um, over something that's probably not ready yet.
Yeah, so what are you unlocking new cars? You're just going through a career going or you
Yeah,
just keep going to
there's
new
like
courses?
yeah, there's loads of courses. There's like so many courses, so many cars. You unlock like you start off with like normal cars, like everyday cars, and you just
Mhm.
gradually work your way up, and like you get more and more like tasks and missions to do, and like championships, and there's like yeah, there's just loads of cool stuff. They've got these missions that they call where they'll give you like different tasks to do, like where they'll have like some which are called one lap magic, which I really enjoy, where they'll give you a specific car, and then you have to try and overtake as many of the cars you can in one lap. So they'll give you like a really fast Porsche, and you've
Mhm.
got to overtake all the slower Porsches like from the over the years, and you've got to
'Kay.
try and get past them as fast as you can within one lap. So you kind of like they'll set off before you, like one at a time, and then you go, and then you've got to like try and catch them and get past them all before you finish your lap. There's stuff like that that's just really cool and like it's one of those things that you're either going to be into it or you're not. And if you're into it, then it's just one of the best VR games I've played. I just love it. Yeah.
Wow. I'm getting up to getting my keyboard. I forgot that that's the best way to do this. This whole time I've been using my Quest 3 controller, and that's
Oh
what's
yeah.
making these things freak out. I
Yeah.
forgot. All right, so we'll go to the next game. Hubris. This is a game that you've already talked about on this podcast. I went
You've
back and
played
I
it. Did you
listened
not
to
play it
your.
before?
I only played the demo,
Oh right.
and I
You
didn't
bought
like it
us.
much. So I didn't buy it or play it more, but they had a sale where this was like 13 or $15. So I was like, all right, I'll pay that much.
It's in my account. You could have played it for free.
I know, but I'd rather just own it and not have to
Okay.
worry about like, you know,
Me picking you off.
yeah, or like somebody. I think you share your library with some other people too, and they might be in your library. So yeah, I'd rather not have to worry about pulling the network cable out. Whatever. It was only like 13 or 15
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah, yeah,
So this game has great graphics,
yeah,
but the gameplay, it's just so.
yeah,
You know, and like the combat is so.
yeah,
This scene, if you're watching on YouTube, this video where you're riding this like speeder bike thing, this is only toward the end of the game. Because I was playing for a while and I was like, when am I gonna do that speeder bike thing that Alex was talking about?
yeah,
But yeah, that was pretty much at the end. Most of the game, you're just kind of going through these levels and shooting at various enemies. Sometimes you have these drone enemies that are firing at you, and sometimes you'll go through levels where there's like almost seems like nonstop human enemies that just
yeah.
won't stop. So in some of those levels, I died quite a few times because they just wouldn't stop.
Yeah, there's one section where you're like outside and like you've got to turn off some generators or something, and like there's loads of enemies that come at you. It
Yeah,
just get a bit tricky towards the end. They definitely challenge you a bit more. I thought visually, like the enemies looked pretty cool. Like those humanoid enemies looked really cool. They're animated really well. Like the way they move looks like they've been mocaps. It looks like really
yeah.
looks really impressive when you see them moving around and stuff. But
Are
that
you
side of things were good.
you're talking about the friendly NPCs like this woman walking?
The friendly ones and like the enemies as well. I thought the enemies looked
Okay,
pretty realistic. Like the animations looked particularly impressive. I thought the way
yeah.
that they move.
And when you see the friendly people's faces, they might be the most impressive faces I've seen in VR. They
Yeah,
look
they're
really realistic.
very. You can tell they've got some sort of like proper good quality movie quality motion capture because like the faces look really impressive. Like the way that they've expressed themselves and move their mouth around and stuff looks really good.
Yeah. One thing I was seeing was the tick-like enemies, and some surfaces had this weird issue where in one eye they looked different than the other eye, like a different color. So it looked all crazy in the headset. So I had to do something like turn off DLSS or something. I can't remember what I had to do, but that fixed it. There was another guy in the forums asking about it because he had the same issue. Um, Let me see what I mean. I went all the way through it. It's not. It's definitely. It's good. I would recommend it, but not at full price. I don't know what the full price is.
$30
Uh,
maybe, I think.
Let me see.
It's what, like 6 hours long, something like that. It's not the
Yeah.
longest game.
Well, yeah. I have. It says I have 6.3 hours in the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
$30. Yeah, yeah. And they patched it in February. I remember you said you had trouble finding like cayenne or something, and then there was a part where where it was a pain in the ass to find the cayenne I had to find, and it was all those humanoid guys there were a million of them trying to kill me while I was looking for the cayenne
Yeah.
because there were no waypoints I think telling me where the cayenne was, and then once I found all the cayenne, the game didn't tell me where to go.
One thing
Um,
I didn't realize, which I think I mentioned when I talked about it before, was that when you can upgrade to different weapons, and I
mhm.
thought you were gonna get different weapons to upgrade. So I went through the entire game with a pistol, but you can upgrade the pistol to like a submachine gun and so
Yeah,
I didn't
I
realize you could upgrade the same weapon. I thought you were gonna get different weapons and upgrade those. So
yeah yeah I upgraded it to the machine gun and just used the machine gun the whole game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have they added like reloads and stuff now? Because originally there was no kind of reload. They would like I think you had to
Yeah,
pull it up to your head or something.
there's manual reload. But it took
Oh
me
right, yeah, that
so part of my problem was I didn't do the tutorial again. I did the tutorial back when I did the demo, but when I played it this time, I didn't do the tutorial. I should have done the tutorial because
Right.
there are a lot of things that I wasn't figuring out how to do right, like things like reloading. But for a lot of the game, I was bringing the gun to my chest, thinking that that's how you reload. But what that was doing was it was pushing the clip into the gun. Like, all you really need to do is just bring the clip in and put it in.
Right.
Bringing it to my chest must have inadvertently been pushing the clip into the gun, and I didn't realize that's what was going on.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. But I beat it, and there was one scene in particular that I'm surprised you didn't bring up when you talked about this game. What did you think of this scene?
Oh.
So this woman here, this woman in a skin-tight bodysuit, has an injury right by her crotch, and
I never
you
even thought of that.
bring this woman and put her on a bed, and she's passed out, and then you and this dude are just sitting here standing there, looking at her. Then
Yeah.
they tell you need to work on her wound with this medical equipment over here, and this guy at some point just goes, "Well, I'm gonna go do something else," and he just walks out of the room, and he leaves the room for a long time, and leaves you
Yeah.
there with this woman on the bed.
Right.
Did you not think that was odd?
No, I didn't even think
No,
about it.
you didn't think about it.
I know what you were thinking about,
You
but
didn't think it was odd that they had dildo shaped. The room is full of
how the fuck?
dildo shaped plants and butt plug shaped
You've
plants.
you've got something going on. I'll say that. You've
You
got
don't think
something
that's
going.
weird? I thought that was weird.
I never even thought about that.
So this is just a me. This is just a me thing. Well,
For those who are listening, audio listeners, it's put an image on YouTube of him stood over this woman who's lay
I'm not
passed out
over
with.
her. I'm standing. I'm not leering over her. No.
Well, I don't know. And then you've
I'm
got
just
like
I'm just holding
objects
the
in your hands
objects
that
that
look like,
this
you
room is
know,
full of
yeah,
these
the
objects. Yeah.
fuck's sake.
I don't know. My
Um,
mind just automatically went there, so I'm sorry.
yeah,
And look,
that's not something I thought about.
they're directing you to her crotch where her wound is, which I think this was all intentional by the developers. I don't think
I
this
never
is just
honestly
some.
never thought of it.
How do you not? Okay. Well, I thought it was hilarious, personally.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. That picture is just like
Yeah.
I'm just imagining you, uh, in this scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny.
I mean, it was obvious to me, but I guess it's just me. All right. All right. Well, yeah, Hubris. Yeah, it was pretty good. I think it got PCVR Game of the Year from Upload VR the year it came out.
I don't remember what else was out that year, so
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh wait, I think it was the same year there was Red Matter and Moss Book 2, and
oh,
they
well,
said
no
I
then.
think they said I
So,
think
no.
that I might have that wrong. It might have been the year before that Hubris came out. I can't remember.
I think
I'm
it's
not sure.
there's not many VR games like this where they're, like, really good high quality production values. It looks great. Some sections where it's really impressive, like, I preferred the sections where you were outside in, like, the sci-fi kinda planet, but those were quite cool.
Yeah.
Um, the section you're talking about with the dildos and everything, that looked really impressive, like,
That
just,
was
like, being up in
probably
that
the
world.
best looking part of the game, maybe. Yeah, and going out on the
You
balcony.
go Yeah, you go out and there's, like, ships flying around. It felt a bit like Halo, like, with the planet and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping that they make another one and they can kinda learn everything they've done with this and make the gameplay a bit more engaging and just kinda focus on, because when you're inside, you're just kind of in these, like, sci-fi kind of corridors and stuff, and it's just a bit generic, whereas when you're outside, you just had this really cool atmosphere and feel to it, like, you felt like you were exploring, like, an alien planet. So, I'd rather them focus on that side of things than the inside, like, stuff.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to your game. You've also been playing Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I didn't really get much chance to talk about it much last week, like, last month because Justin got a life and he had stuff to do, but, um Yeah, this is another one that was just really impressive in VR. I can't even remember what I said last month, so I'm just gonna repeat what I said if I'm repeating myself. I've played a bunch of it. I'm actually stuck at the moment because there's a section where you have to get Ashley, which is like this woman that you're trying to protect and rescue. You have to get her up onto these platforms to turn these dials, but you can't get up there with her. She's got to do it while you're protecting her from the bottom. So that there's these guys that are trying to get to her, and you're having to shoot the guy to stop her from getting to her while she's turning these dials. And I keep running out of ammo, so I can't protect her because I can't get to where she is. This bit was really cool in VR with there's a boss fight where you're in like this barn and there's flames and fire everywhere. And it looks amazing in VR.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's just really the game obviously is an amazing game like out of VR, and then the VR version is just really well done. Like the port itself feels really polished. The gunplay mechanics feel really good. I've got some more guns. Like I've got an Uzi now, and I've got a non-pump action shotgun. I've got like a Magnum, and just the feeling of holding the guns, like the way that the haptics work, like the way that you can almost feel like when you're firing the Uzi, you can feel it almost in your hand, kind of like moving around, and
Hmm.
like the triggers are pulsing in your hand. The headset haptics are pretty cool sometimes, like with explosions and things. You can feel it. Like when it's all combined together, it does work. It does work really well. Like the haptics and the controllers are absolute the best in any controller.
When you
Uh,
get attacked, does it vibrate on your head?
yeah, you can feel it when you get attacked and stuff. They've done a really good job in implementing it into this game. Like even when you just like pick something up, if you pick a weapon up off your ammo belt, rather than it just like getting a slight vibration, you feel almost like a thud, like something's just hit your hand or something. It's just the way that these haptics work. They Because I was talking to a developer about it, and like the haptics in like the Quest controllers are so basic. It's
Hmm.
literally just like one vibration. You can't even like tune the frequency or anything. You can't change like how it feels at all. It's like it vibrates or it doesn't vibrate. That's basically the haptics. Whereas this
Yeah.
feels like it's just it feels like you can have the vibrations can kind of feel like they're moving around in your hand. They can feel like the like a thud or like it's like rattling around. The triggers can like when you fire a pistol, you can like move your finger slightly, and then you can like feel it get hard. So you can't, and then you
You
kind
can
of like
feel it get hard.
you can
Oh, the
feel it get
trigger.
really, really
The
hard. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
trigger. I get it. Now I
It's
follow.
real hard. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you can just like if you just push it really hard, then you can get it past, the thing,
Past
and
the
then
vagina.
past, yeah,
Oh,
past the thing, yeah.
okay.
Anyway, yeah. So it just feels really good. Like the haptics are good. There is some I'm in this section right now with this castle, and you can really see the mirror, however you want to say it, and it does kind of detract from the rest of the game because the game is so good. But I'm hoping that once I get past that, it'll look because like when I was outside and stuff, it looked great. I really liked it. It's just this one section is just so like grey, kind of darky grey. It's just constant. You can see it mostly all the time. But yeah, this game and obviously Gran Turismo 7 are just like the best 2 VR games I've ever played.
The
I
best
think
two
Half-Life
you've
Alyx
ever played?
yeah. I think
Holy
Half-Life
shit.
Alyx is probably still my number 1, but I'd say Gran Turismo 7 is probably my 2nd, and this is probably my 3rd favorite game I've ever played.
Oh, then they're
Uh,
not the best two. Okay, Half-Life Alyx. Okay.
yeah, I'd still give Half-Life Alyx just 'cause just because it's a really well-made, polished VR game that's also got loads of custom content, and that game was just really special when I played it. But yeah, I mean, it's just, like, the PSVR 2, I know people I think it's gonna be interesting to see what Sony do with it because a lot of people kind of really negative on it and say that it's done, Sony aren't supporting it, and they're not gonna bring out another PSVR for the next console. But when I think about what the games that are on there already after a year, it's just great. Like, they're the best say that some of the best VR games I've ever played are only available on the PSVR 2. So it's just kind of hopefully they've got more stuff in the works. Hopefully we're gonna get some more games, and hopefully Sony do keep supporting VR because these are the games that I want to play. As much as the Quest obviously is driving the numbers maybe more, I feel like the games that we as enthusiasts wants to play are the ones they're on the PSVR 2, they're not on the Quest really, so
What about Resident Evil
hope
7 and 8 Prey Dog mods? Do you think this is better than those?
I prefer this to them, yeah.
Okay.
Prefer I think the game overall is better, and obviously the VR version is better because it's actual it's got full manual reloading. Obviously, when you think like all the haptics and stuff, and yeah, it's just feels like it's really good. I mean,
Mm.
I don't even know if Resident Evil 4 is gonna get a VR mod because Prey Dogs, I think he's kind of a bit burnt out, and I don't know if he's wanting to make the VR mod
Hmm.
for Resident Evil 4, so it might not ever come to PC. You might only be able to play it on PSVR 2.
Shit.
Um, so then you might have to get one if you wanna
Ugh.
play it.
Damn
You'll hate
it.
it. You'll hate the lenses, I think, but
I bet. Yeah, I bet I will.
'cause because obviously I've been using the Quest 3. I probably should say I've bought a Quest 3 now. But yeah, I've been using the Quest 3, and when I go back to the PSVR 2, it's like, it's kinda, "Oh, shit," the lenses aren't good, but as soon as you get into the game and I'm playing the game, it just fades away, and I'm just, like, really enjoying myself, and to me, that's what it's about, like, I've always said this, but the games are way more important than the hardware, in my
Hmm.
opinion. You can have the best hardware in the world, but there's no games to play, and what's the point? And I think the hardware for most people, I think the PSVR 2 hardware, like, if you were the new to VR, you're gonna be fine with it. I mean, and we played the Oculus Rift, we played the Vive, and this is the PSVR 2 is way better than those, so it's still I think it's still a reasonable, decent headset. Um, I just think that Sony just need to obviously make more games for it. That's all it is.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, you bought a Quest 3. So since you brought it up just now, you have anything to say about that?
Um, I don't I like it, but I don't like it. Some people are gonna think I'm absolutely nuts for saying this, but I actually the only reason I bought one was because I need it for more productivity stuff, and I need the inside out tracking for my situation, my living situation now because I'm moving around a little bit, so I can't be taking all the base stations and shit with me all the time. But I actually overall, I still prefer the Index. I know you think
Wow.
I know you're gonna think I'm nuts for that, but
Well, it's because you don't have you want the direct connection to the PC.
yeah, I think the only thing that the Quest does better than the Index are the lenses and the screens. Everything else is better on the Index. I think the comfort's better,
Mhm.
even with this head strap. I've got, like, a Kiwi design head strap.
Mhm.
The Index is still more comfortable. Built-in audio is really good on the Index, and I don't have to fuck about with using earbuds or something else to try and make the audio better.
I don't
Um,
know why you need earbuds. I'm fine with the Quest built-in audio.
yeah, I like good audio, and I don't like
Mm.
the built-in stuff, so.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and there's just other stuff with, like, it's a it's it's a pain connecting to the PC. It's clearly not built for the PC, and it's like an afterthought, and it just
Yeah.
the amount of friction and problems I had as someone who's an enthusiast, I just immediately thought, like, if my brother said to me, "Okay, I'm really wanna get into PC VR now. What headset should I get?" And I'd be like, "Okay, well," I'd have to say a Quest 3, but then I'd be like, "Okay, well, you need a Quest 3, but you don't wanna use the default D strap. So you're gonna need to get a different strap, and I'll have to tell you which strap to get. And then you're gonna need to either get some sort of router, however you wanna say it, and you're gonna need to get some sort of software, and you're gonna need to, like, set it all up properly, or you're gonna need to get an extra cable, and then you're gonna have to download some software on your PC,
That's
and then you're
only
gonna
if
have
he
to
wants
connect."
to play PC. You think he's a PC person?
He definitely wouldn't be interested in the
Standalone? Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah. And that's the thing, it's just like, if someone's gonna just play standalone stuff, then fine, yeah, Quest 3 all day. But if someone wants to play a PCVR headset, it's just a bit of a pain, really. Like, with the link cable, I had issues with the audio cutting out, like, making all choppy, and it turns out that if you try and super sample too much, then it hasn't got the bandwidth to handle, obviously, all the image and the audio, so the audio kind of cuts out. So then that was a problem. I had
And
some issues where my
you don't have a good router, right?
I did buy one, I actually bought one because I thought, well, maybe I should just try and do that. But then because I haven't got direct access to my internet all the time, so it just wasn't practical for me to do that. I did mess around
Mhm,
and set it up, and I managed to get a 300 bit rate, which is supposed to be pretty good, and
mhm.
I could still see compression, and artifacting and stuff. The quality wasn't as good as, like, a direct port, obviously. Even with the link cable, I can still see, like, compression sometimes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not, like, always it's not as good as, obviously, a direct, port. So,
Okay,
yeah,
so what, like, codec or encoder were you using when you got
I was
300?
using H.264
264? Okay. If you do
plus whatever it is.
H.264 plus, you can get 500. And I see
I was on the
less.
plus,
You were on plus. Okay, if you turn off auto bitrate, you can get up to 500.
yeah.
So that's what I do.
I'll try it again at some point in the future. I need to get, like, a 6E. I'm with just a 6. I probably should get, like, a 6E router.
Yeah, there's a
But
guy, James. He sometimes listens to our podcast. He's on the Coffee and the Rendered Reality Discord. Yeah, he just got a 6E router, or he got a Wi-Fi 7 router. But before that,
alright.
he was trying a 6E, and he said, yeah, 6E for him made a big difference.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
so
just the cost as well, like, obviously, costs, like, it's more cost every time.
yeah, yeah,
It just ramps up the costs. Everything's just, like, you can't just buy the headset and it's just works. You've gotta buy a bunch of extra shit, and you've gotta set everything up, and it's just with the Index, it was always just kind of like once you've got your base station set up, I could just put the headset on, and it just worked.
hmm
It would just I didn't have to mess around with headphones. I personally prefer the controllers. I like the Index controllers more than the Quest controllers. The tracking, I don't know if you have this problem, but I think with these Quest 3 controllers without the rings, I think the tracking suffers personally.
I have a problem where like they'll just stop getting tracked,
Yeah.
and I haven't figured out yet. Like I think it's a timeout thing
I
where
was playing Half-Life Alyx, and do you know
mhm,
when you put your 2 hands together to two-hand a weapon, like, you just put them together?
yeah,
Like, I think because I was covering up the controller, my other hand, like, completely almost,
hmm
it would just keep, like, just wandering off, like, my hand would just keep
ah,
wandering, and it's
hmm,
just like it was just really pissing me off because I'm walking around, I've got both my hands on the gun, and then all of a sudden my hand just, like, wanders off and disconnects from the gun, and, like,
hmm,
I'm having to then bring my controller out so that it sees it again, then pull it back in.
hmm,
So this whole system where they've not got the rings and stuff, like, you're gonna get occlusion because obviously you're covering up the if you cover up the entire controller if you pull your hands together and you're basically almost covering up the second controller and your hands aren't really visible
yeah,
to the cameras, you're gonna have problems with the controls,
yeah. Then there are people that say you need the Quest Pro controllers to fix that, but then that's I don't know what
which are
they
another, what, $300 are they or
is
something? I
probably
don't know.
300. Yeah,
'Cause they've got the
yeah,
cameras in them, so they'll
yeah,
fix it, but then it's again, it's just and things as well, like when I was again with Half-Life Alyx, you have to put your hand over your shoulder to grab ammo,
yeah.
and sometimes I would go to do it, and then I would have to try again because it didn't register.
Hmm.
Whereas with the Index, obviously, because it's always tracked, it's not out of range of camera, it would
hmm
just work every time, no problem. So,
Okay.
yeah, I miss the Index controllers, I do. I miss the Index,
Hmm.
apart from the screens and the lenses, but
And the glare. Have you noticed that Quest 3 is a lot less glare?
yeah, I do have a problem where, um, it fogs. I don't know if you have that
Oh,
problem,
really?
where if I
No,
put
I
it
don't have that.
yeah, I put it on, it, like, mists up a bit, and then I have to take it off, like, give it a wipe down, and then eventually it kinda stops. Uh,
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue. It's good for product. I bought it mainly because I need to do, like, some trading stuff, and I have to have multiple screens, and there's this program called Immersive VR? What's it
Immersed.
called? Immersed VR or something like that,
Yeah.
and, yeah, you can have like, you have to pay for, like, the pro version, but you can have I think it was, like, £50 for the year, which I don't think is too bad, but you get 5 screens, and you can have up to 4K resolution per screen. So it looks, like, crystal clear. I've got 5 screens set up, and I can look around, I can read, write even small text and everything. Like, for productivity, it's really good. Like, for me, for
Hmm.
what I need it for, like, for work, it's exactly what I wanted it to be because I can literally just rather than having to, like, have some sort of dedicated setup or something where I've got multiple monitors everywhere, I just sit on my sofa, and I've just got the headset on, I've got a wireless keyboard on my lap, and I can just work for a couple of hours on that. It's really cool. So,
Hmm.
that side of things really good. Like, the lenses are amazing. Obviously, like, you can look almost pretty much to the edge, and there's no problem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like, it just like, there's no perfect headset, that's the problem. Every headset's got its, like, pros and cons, and the
Hmm.
Quest 3 is definitely not a perfect headset.
Yeah, I can tell you're using the Quest 3 right now. Sometimes your audio,
Pops and stuff.
sometimes the audio quality like goes down a little bit, and yeah, I don't think that was ever happening with the Index, or not,
Yeah, 'cause I were
not often.
r yeah, the Index microphone was amazing. I used to use it to record my videos with.
Yeah.
It's just, like, really good quality, whereas this sounds kind of really cheap, nasty.
Hmm.
I'm having to use I made a video for my Patreon account, and I had to use, like, Audacity to add a compressor effect stuff just to try and get it to sound half decent.
Wow.
Um,
Hmm.
but with the Index, it was just, like, straight recording, and it sounded great, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a lot of things like that, which most people probably don't give a shit about the microphone, but yeah, for me, again, it was like the Index, I didn't have to buy, like, an expensive mic. I could literally just use the Index mic. So again,
Yeah.
it's kinda saved me money and saved me messing around. Just slap the headset on and just use that. So the Index, if it had better lenses and screens, then it would still be, like, personally, one of the best headsets on the market, I think, as an
Hmm.
all-rounder. But
Yeah.
the screens and the lenses are definitely, they're getting old now. They need replacing.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to the next game. Bulletstorm
Yep.
VR. I played like, I don't know, maybe I played 30 minutes of it. Well,
Okay.
the the first time I tried this game, I couldn't get the controls to work at all. And then I think I even tried some controller bindings in the Steam controller bindings thing, and I couldn't get to work. But this time I tried it, and I got it to work with some controller bindings. I was shocked that it worked. I was expecting it not to. And I was kind of pleasantly surprised by the game after hearing
Okay.
so many negative things about it. I was like, yeah, this is okay. It's nothing great, but I could actually see myself playing all the way through it.
Right.
It's kind of like a Doom or Quake type of game. It does have way too many cutscenes. There's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
for flat
cutscenes.
screen thing, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
but you
the
could
flat
skip
screen
them at
game had
least.
loads. Yeah, you can skip them. Yeah.
Um, one of the very first levels I thought was cool was where you were on the side. I don't know if you were like on the side of the building, like, and you see the
Yeah.
city. The city is like what I can't even. What is that? What was going on there? Were we on a building that was like sideways or something?
I think you were on, like, a skyscraper, like, you were walking down the building, so you were kinda looking down, like, you were on the side of the building, like, walking with some sort of gravity boots or something.
Okay, okay. It looked cool.
Yeah,
And so you're talking about that whole sliding thing, yeah, being too
yeah,
abrupt. Yeah, it is too abrupt.
yeah.
Like you press that button to slide and it's just like psh, immediately you're sliding. There does
It's
need to be some
instant
sort of
transition.
animation, yeah, transition. But I did like the sliding thing.
Yeah.
Like I like how fast you can move.
I think it's
And
fine, it's just, like and I don't like the legs as well, like, you've got these stupid legs just, like, half half a torso just, like, floating in front of you. I
yeah.
don't like that. Yes, I
Um,
think this could be a great game with some tweaks. I think that the overall game is good. Uh, it's just they've just got some of the details were just kind of not quite figured out, like, just not what did you think to the gunplay itself? Do you think it was okay?
it was very basic. Um,
Yeah.
did you say the enemies were spongy? Is that what you said? I
I
can't
felt like
remember.
it felt weak, like, the guns didn't kick
Yeah,
about, the enemies
yeah,
just didn't really react, and they took a lot of hits, and it just felt weak and just not satisfying. The gunplay
yeah.
just didn't feel that great to me.
No. And then there's the whole kick thing where you can kick them and then they're in the air and they like hover in the air.
Yeah.
That was weird. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to shoot everyone. Like, do you have to do the kick shit and do like special moves? Because I don't want to do any of that.
You don't have to, that's the main
Okay.
thing with the game, though, it's like you have to do these skill shots, you can leash people, like, fire have you got the leash yet? I don't know if you've got
Yeah,
it
I
yet.
got the leash,
Yeah.
but
What do you
I've
think
only
of that?
used it to like pull items that are out in the way, like to clear the
Yeah,
path.
yeah.
I don't know. So like, what you leash somebody and then they hover in the air, waiting for you to do
Yeah,
something to them?
you can kind of, like, fling them flying towards you, and then you can kick them back into some spikes or something. Uh, yeah, you can pull them into, like, a barrel and then shoot the barrel that's exploding and stuff like that. You can there's loads of different ways you can kill people in this game, and that's the main point of it really is kind of, like, to do these stylish kills and, like, you get points, and you can use the points that you get to then upgrade your equipment and your so you could do it without doing that, but then you won't get
Mhm.
many points, and then you wouldn't obviously be able to upgrade your guns and stuff, so
Okay. All right. Well, that was it for that. We'll go to Callisto Protocol with the UEVR mod.
yeah, I thought I'd give a little UEVR update because I've been playing a couple of things, not much actually this month, um, probably because 'cause I've been playing Gran Turismo 7. But yeah, I was playing but the Callisto Protocol, which because it was on sale for, like, £15, I thought it's not got great reviews, but I've always fancied giving it a go. The video you're seeing if you're watching it on YouTube is in first person, but I personally just play it third person. I didn't bother with the mod because the majority of the game is actually melee. You kinda, like, dodging and hitting with pipes and stuff. So I just left it third person. I didn't personally wanna play this with the mod because performance is really bad and, like, really rough. The game, you have to run it with, like, synced rendering, you can't use native rendering. 'Cause if you use the native rendering option and, like, some of the lighting looks really weird and unplayable.
What
But when
what
you
what
use a
was the rendering? What was the one you have to pick?
the synced one, like
Synced. Okay.
synced yeah. When you use that, synced or sequential, I can't remember what it's
Is it
called.
called sync sequential?
Synced or sequential render, I can't remember what the name is of it, but it's
Okay.
like an alternate rendering technique for games that have problems with, like, shaders and stuff. Performance is worse with that, which is that's one of the main reason I don't wanna play it because performance was unplayable for me, even turning stuff down, and also, because you're using this synced sequential or whatever it's called, um, there's some weird stuff going on with the hair, like, I don't know if you saw this, like, remember Resident Evil, like, the hair would sometimes look really weird,
Mhm.
with the mods. It's kinda like that where the hair looks really weird and wavy and fuzzy, so
Mhm.
then the only way to fix that is to turn off anti-aliasing, so you've got no
Mm.
anti-aliasing, so then everything is just shimmery as shit, like, really shimmery and, yeah, it didn't look as good as I wanted, performance was bad. Maybe you'd be okay with it, like, with the 4080, you could probably get it to run a bit better, maybe crank the resolution
4090.
4090, sorry, yeah. So it's in my account, I'm not gonna refund it 'cause I'm past that anyway, so if you wanted to give it a try, you could do. I just for me, it just didn't look and play good enough for me to wanna play it in VR. So maybe I'll try it with Vulpix or something, or I don't know. Maybe I'll just not play it at all, but yeah, some games some games with UEVR, like, I just find I don't really wanna play them.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like they're good enough, but
That's most games I've tried. Yeah, it's a one-time thing. Yeah.
Some games I've played. I mean, to be fair, I was a tester, so I played a bunch of stuff before. So I've already played so many games in with UEVR. So when it's released, it's like I've already kind of played a lot. We talked about some last month, which we both enjoyed, which I still play. But yeah, this one's not one for me, and I don't think it's unless you've got like a really powerful system, then I don't think it's worth playing based on what I tried with it.
Okay. All right. Next game is, I don't know if it's Crimen or Crimen. It's Crimen
Oh,
Mercenary Tales.
I
This
don't know actually.
game was on sale for $5, and it's a very unknown game. You'll never hear
Okay.
people talking about this game. I was pleasantly surprised. It's regularly $15 on Steam, and it was on sale for 5. I would recommend this. So it's a melee game where you have swords, and you play as 8 different characters, and you play their little story. And each story can be like, I don't know, they could be as short as like 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay. And then you'll go back to the tavern, and then you'll you'll be introduced to the next character, and then you'll play as that character. And so you do sword play where you have to actually block these enemies' sword swings, and you have to hold your swords at the correct orientation. And sometimes you'll get guns, sometimes you'll get bow and arrows. Those are kind of like temporary use things where you can only use them a couple times and then they'll disappear.
Yeah.
And I was actually really surprised some places where the graphics were really, I was like, wow, these are actually pretty impressive. And I think this is by the developer of or maybe maybe they just published it, of the Wizards and the Wizards Dark Times, and
Right.
all of those games. And like this barely has any reviews on Steam. I left a
This
positive
looks pretty
review.
good. I'll be honest, I've
Yeah,
never heard of it.
and actually it's funny too. There's dialogue the whole time, and it's actually comedic. Like it's
Yeah.
made me laugh multiple times.
Wow. I need to check
Yeah.
this out. You
When
found a
you
hidden
first
gem.
start the game up, like the interface looks very amateurish, so at first you're like, "Oh, this might suck," but then the game is like actually pretty good. Um,
Cool. Yeah, this looks
and
pretty good. So is it
the first,
are you actually
hmm?
moving through is it like wave shooter, or are you actually moving
No, no,
through
you're
the
moving through levels. You're going through
Oh,
levels.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, I
and
like this. This combat looks really interesting.
yeah, and there are times where like someone will have a shield, and you have to hit it a specific orientation, kind of like Beat Saber. You got to hit it
Yeah.
like swing it a certain way, or an enemy like this. There's this vampiress or vampiress, whatever you say. She throws like skulls at you, and you have to hit the skulls in a certain direction. And I remember Shadow Legend. Remember that game, Shadow Legend? They did something
Yeah.
like that at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a surprising hidden gem. It's only $5 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long is it, do you know?
Uh, I don't know. It might be. It
Have you
could be
finished it or
3.
not?
No, I haven't finished it yet. It could be three
Alright.
or it could be 3 or 4 hours. I don't know.
Well, that's
So
decent for the money then. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
play this. I'm gonna download and play this actually.
All right, good.
What's it called? Crimen
Yeah,
Mercenaries?
Crimen Mercenary Tales or Crimen.
Crimen
Yeah, and then
and
hyphen then
Mercenary.
Mercenary Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first character you start out as is this little kid with this annoying voice. So it starts out like kind of annoyingly,
Yeah.
but it gets better.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna download this.
All right. Next game is Soul Calibur 6. I tried both of these games you played last night, so I can talk about them too. So this is
Alright. Yeah.
UEVR. You can play this with UEVR because this is Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, this works
So
really well actually. This is really cool.
yeah, yeah, you don't have to do anything.
No.
Yeah.
I cranked up the world scale so that it looked like really
Oh,
3D.
I didn't think to do
But
that.
even without that, obviously, it still looks fine. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a fighting game, like a 3D one where you're like in a 3D space, not like a 2D sort of size. You can actually move like forwards, backwards, and stuff. And you're in these arenas, and it just looks cool. You've got these it's like literally like you can just watch these people fight, and like, there's loads of effects that pop up on the screen and stuff, which looks really cool in VR. Like when there's do these special moves. Like some of the backgrounds looked absolutely amazing as well. Like really impressive in VR. There was one where you're like in this you're on this like floating island, and there's all this floating rocks all around you and stuff. It looked really, really good in VR. Like really impressive.
One thing about the backgrounds, at default, the backgrounds are really blurry. It's like a depth of
Oh
field
yeah,
effect or something.
you have to turn that off. Yeah.
So, did you turn it off in the UEVR menu or in the game?
I just use the UEVR menu. Is there an option to
Okay.
do it in the game? I don't know.
Well, I should have done it in UEVR. I went into the graphics options and I kept testing. There was post processing, and there was one for like effects, and I
Yeah.
was turning both of them to low to try to figure out which one. It turned out it was the post processing. I turned it to low, and then the blurry background wasn't blurry anymore. But
Well, you can
I
leave
get
it on high, and then you can just turn off the
yeah
just turn off the depth of field in UEVR,
in
then it'll just
UEVR. Yeah, which is that
yeah.
under CVARs or somewhere else?
Yeah, you have to go to CVARs, and then it's
Yeah.
like second one down. I think it says might say depth of field, and I can't remember what it says, but yeah, there's just turn
Okay.
it to 0, and, I'm just watching the footage now. It looks like they've got some cool mods actually where you can, like, use Witcher
Oh
Geralt
yeah, that does
character.
look like Witcher. Yeah, it says
Yeah,
Geralt at the top.
yeah.
Oh, and
There's mods. There's a
that
bunch of
girl's
mods for this
from
game.
another game, isn't she?
Yeah, she's from something, I recognize it. Yeah, I might try yeah, some of these mods could be cool. There's like a story mode to it, but the story mode kinda sucks, to be honest.
Hmm. I just played
All the story
arcade.
yeah, all the story is kinda told in, like, just text and pictures, like, there's no, like,
Hmm.
cutscenes or anything, and, yeah, I'm not bothered about that. It's just fun to jump in, like, just pick a fight, pick an arena, random arena or something, and just yeah, just fight people and just, like it's not something I'm gonna put loads of time into it, but I picked it up on sale for really cheap, and, oh my god, I'm just like, "Jesus,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
a
wearing
better
well."
outfit.
Yeah, yeah, so plus they've got, like, jiggle physics, so if you're into that sort of stuff, you can
Yes, yes. I played as Ivy for that reason. Do you know
just to let you
Ivy?
know as well, there is actually there's a model viewer
Oh,
where you
there
can view
is.
the model. Yeah,
Oh,
just to
got a
let you
pro
know.
tip there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went into the model viewer and you saw
I
some
had a quick
physics.
look.
Oh,
Yeah, just a quick little peek. Oh,
oh, all
actually,
right.
that's reminded me, they're, in Resident Evil 4
Mm-hmm.
VR, they've got a model viewer as well,
Oh,
and it's it's really cool. Do you know, like, Batman Arkham VR where you could, like, just look at the view, like, have the
yeah.
models right in it's like that, but obviously you just like, the quality is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can get, like, one of the big boss guys, like, there's one of these
Mm-hmm.
huge guy, and you can have him just stood in front of you full scale. So you can, like, just
Mm,
look up and see them, and then like, the fish monster, you can have that flying up into the air, frozen directly in front of you. You
mm,
can look at one of there's this woman called Hunnigan or something, she's a she all she does is talk to you on the phone thing, video phone, but
mm-hmm.
I've got, like, a full 3D model of her, and, like, it looks photoreal, seriously, it's so
Wow.
impressive.
Is she
And, yeah,
hot?
you can get really she's smoking hot, yeah,
Oh, damn.
you can have a good look if you want
Hmm.
to, yeah.
You're giving me more reason to get a PSVR 2, but I'm still not there yet. Still not there.
Well, would you get one if you couldn't if they don't if Praydog never releases it for PC, would you get one just for that game, or
If Capcom came out with the next Resident Evil game in its VR, for
you would
sure,
get it?
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I hope they do
If
because
Praydog's not gonna do it, then yeah.
yeah, yeah. I really hope that they do bring more like the Resident Evil 9 or whatever next, I hope they do bring that to VR because they do a really good job with the port, actually. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be down to how well it sells really and how much Sony want to keep supporting it. 'Cause
I,
the games are great. It's so good.
yeah. Yeah, that's the reason I bought the PSVR 1 was for Resident Evil 7, and that was just with a
Yeah.
gamepad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame we played it that way in the end because obviously, you could have
Yeah.
played it on PC with,
I know, and I haven't
was
been motivated enough to play it again with motion controls on
Yeah,
PC because I already know
it's so
everything, you know?
yeah, yeah, it's so good though. So good in
Yeah,
PC. Like,
yeah.
the motion controls and everything, like, it's so good.
Did you
One of
play
the
all the way
best games.
through it in PC?
Yeah, I played through it, yeah.
Okay, alright.
For some reason, I didn't find it that scary. Like,
Yeah, it's not
some people were
scary.
saying, like some people saying, like, it's the scariest game they've ever played. Um, I don't know. I was fine with it. I didn't find it too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Our next game is Xenon Racer. This is another UEVR game.
Yeah, this was, really, really cheap. It was like £1.50 or something, but I didn't like it. I thought
Yeah,
that it looks okay. It just
yeah,
plays a bit shit.
yeah, I didn't really either. I mean, I'm not a racing game guy, but I wasn't doing the turning very well. You know, you're supposed to try to drift through the turns. I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah, I didn't like the controls. It
Yeah.
weren't very I didn't find it very exciting. It's got a first person mode. It's not like you're not in the cockpit or anything. So I was just playing like the chase cam behind the car, and
Oh, you're doing behind the car? Okay.
yeah, I just didn't like it. I didn't I paid £1.50 for it, so, like, I'm not gonna refund it or anything, but yeah,
Yeah,
it was just kind of average, nothing special.
yeah.
And I didn't think it looks cool, like, on this video, but in VR, I don't know, it didn't quite
No, it didn't look that great. And
it looks a bit
some of
cheap,
it
like, it looked like made by a small developer, really, so
and I think like some of the textures might have had that ambient occlusion issue. Like
yeah.
I noticed it on some of the like surfaces that I don't know what you call that. Where is it like looking it looks different in one eye than the other, is that why?
Yeah, it's just like I think with ambient occlusion, it's not made for stereo,
Yeah.
um, rendering, so it don't quite look right. Like, it's if you open one eye and close another one, and then you flick between them, you can kinda see,
Yeah.
it's not the same in each eye, it's, like, slightly different, so it makes it look a little bit weird,
Yeah.
in VR.
All right. So now I'll go to the next Swarm 2 key. Yeah, the next Swarm 2 key. It's on screen on YouTube. It's RTJJP M7XYP YCA4Q MCGX9 HRHFJ. And
Marvelous.
now we'll go to upcoming games. This is a game that you liked. Humanity is coming to Quest on March 14th. I'm only
Oh, I
mentioning
didn't
it
know this.
because because you like it. I liked it, but you liked it a lot. Like you might have beaten it. I don't
No,
remember.
I put a lot I put, like, 12 hours into it, and I still didn't finish it. I just kind of lost I think it just hurt my brain too much towards the end because it gets really hard,
Yeah.
and then it just, like, I don't know if when I get to a point where something's really, really difficult,
Hmm.
it's like my brain says, "Shall I play that thing which I'm gonna probably get stuck on and not really get very far on, or shall I play Gran Turismo 7?" And
Yeah.
then my brain says, "I'll play Gran Turismo 7, please." And then I'm, "Okay."
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. But now that you have a Quest 3, you can play this while you're traveling. I don't know. Well, you're
Yeah.
traveling with your PC though.
Yeah, I've got my PC,
Yeah.
so I don't need
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. All right. Next game is Max Mustard. This comes out March 21st on Quest only. It comes to other platforms later.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if this is Quest Store or App Lab. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
But,
sure actually.
but this is like Astrobot and Lucky's Tale, those types of games.
Yeah, it looks kinda cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah. All right. Then I put this here just for a laugh. Lawn Mowing Simulator comes out March 21st on Quest only. This is I
Jesus
bet tons of
Christ.
people are going to play this and do videos of it just because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kind of like Power Wash Simulator, but this is even more ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, you're just mowing people's lawns.
Yeah.
It looks like you have to maintain your, like, equipment and stuff and load up your van, and
Yeah.
you've got different you can trim the edges and then use you know, ride on mower where you, like, steer with your hands and stuff, so it's probably got something. I've never really been into these sort of games, I don't know, they just why would I wanna mow a lawn in VR when I can just mow one in real life? I don't
Maybe
know.
kids that don't actually have to mow lawns and don't have to actually power wash, maybe they're who this is for.
Yeah, like Chore
Yeah.
Simulator. I never
Yeah.
really got that thing, you know, where you've got, like, American Trucks Simulator and stuff where people are driving a truck for hours just around
That was one of
roads
the
and stuff.
earliest VR games. So I bought that American Truck Simulator game and I played it once and I didn't like it. I didn't get it. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
like an early game that worked with the DK2. So that's why I had it.
right, yeah. It's weird. I mean, people love it, I mean, it's massive, it's got big sales,
Yeah,
but I just couldn't think of anything more boring than just driving a truck around
I know.
and, yeah, like, just driving it across Europe, but you're not actually in Europe, you're sat in your living room and it looks a bit shitty because it's not real, so
Especially back then. It looked terrible back
yeah,
then, but people
yeah,
were
that
in love with it back then. I don't
no.
know. All right. Next game, Madison VR. This has been delayed a bunch of times. So who knows if it's really coming out. It
Partial
says
nudity.
Yeah, it says March 23rd. It's coming to PC and PlayStation. I'll be surprised if it actually releases on this
Yeah,
day.
it's one of those things where when a game's been delayed a lot, it kinda makes you worry that it's been, you know,
Yeah.
problematic, like, Bulletstorm was delayed a couple of
Hmm.
times, and that still came out a bit rough,
Yeah.
so this
This was
game
supposed
is
to
gonna
come
be
out on
in.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I know you don't get scared in VR, but I think this game looks like it probably is gonna be pretty terrifying, to be honest, so
Gamertag
just
said recently that he played the scariest VR game he's ever played. And people were speculating that maybe it was this game. He didn't
right.
say what game it was. So I don't know.
Why didn't you just say what it was?
He's probably not allowed to say it
Oh,
because it's not,
okay.
it's like under embargo or whatever.
So you just okay, that's I don't know why people do that, but
Yeah, I
I've
don't
played something that's
know.
really scary. Oh,
Yeah,
what is it?
I
I
can't
can't
say.
tell you.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
getting
cool.
engagement. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I know, I'm just being a
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah. All right. Then we got this announced. We knew this last month, but we weren't able to talk about upcoming games because I had to leave early. Metro Awakening. It's coming out in
Oh,
2024.
yeah. Yeah, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
This is
I've never.
we kind of already knew about this because
Yeah.
I made a video about a game, what was
Yep.
it called?
Paradox of Hope.
Uh, Paradox of Hope.
Mhm. Hello. Uh-oh. Alex, I don't hear you. We've lost Alex. Let me see. Let me look at Discord. Is he still in Discord? He's showing in Discord, but it's not moving. I'm not seeing his voice. Maybe his Quest 3 died. It might have died. So I guess I'll just carry on without him. I've never played a Metro game in my life. I don't know anything about Metro. What is it? Is it like set in Chernobyl or some shit? Something like that? I don't know. I know very little. Alex, I think, has played these games, so he could have commented. But I will definitely play this when it comes out. It's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Quest. I will always pick PC. And the final game we have here is Zombie Army VR. This is coming out in 2024 to all platforms also. I've never played a Zombie Army game, but the developer of this is Rebellion.
Oh,
The same. Now I hear you.
yeah, I've had to use my fucking phone.
You had to use
Stupid,
your phone.
about stupid
Did you?
fucking Quest 3 bullshit bollocks.
Did it
It just
die?
disconnected. It won't connect anymore.
Huh.
Fucking piece of shit Quest. Throw it in the fucking bin, you piece of shit. Anyway, I'm back.
All right. Did you ever play a Metro game? I've never played a Metro game.
Yeah,
I can barely hear you.
How about now?
I mean, it's
You
a
hear me?
lot. It's hard. It's like muffled.
Oh my god. Stupid fucking Quest. Hang on. What is a piece of shit?
So Alex's piece of shit Quest just died on him or something.
Let me see if I can get it connected once.
All right, so what was I saying? Zombie Army VR. So the developers of Sniper Elite VR, they're the ones coming out with this game. You can play co-op, 2-player co-op, so that's cool. I am kind of sick of zombie games though, so this was kind of the last thing I was looking for.
You hear me?
Arizona, yeah, I hear you.
All right. I don't know. I can't get it connected. It's just I'm probably going to have to restart my PC.
Oh, well, I can hear you. What are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
I can hear you.
All right.
It just sounds like shit. That's all.
Well,
All right,
it'll be great for the audio listeners. So.
Exactly. Did you play Metro games?
Yeah, I played Last Light, the second one in Vortex, but I like it. It's a good game. I'm looking forward to playing a VR version of a proper port. It's been made by a good developer who makes good quality VR games. So
Vertigo.
I think it could be good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've never played a Metro game, so I was waiting on you to say something because I don't know shit about it. All right. Zombie Army VR 2024, all platforms. Do you care about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's another zombie game, but apparently it's like a flat to VR kind of port. I don't know if it's going to be maybe it's not going to be a port, but the franchise itself is actually a non-VR game.
Yeah.
It's based on the Sniper Elite series, so that worries me a little bit because I didn't really think Sniper Elite was that great, like mechanically wise. But it's gonna have like 4-player co-op, and you just like shooting zombies.
It's 2-player from what I read.
Was it 2-player? Oh,
yeah, I only read 2-player.
Well, at least it's co-op, I guess. But yeah, I think it could be cool.
Yeah.
If it's like got a decent budget, that's the main thing, really. I think it could be cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we have.
All right.
Got anything else?
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about those. You have any cursing you want to let out for your Quest 3?
Well, it's just a piece of shit. I mean, this is it's just what I'm talking about with this stupid bullshit where you connect it to a PC, but it's not really connected properly. And at any point, it can just disconnect because it just decides it wants to. And now I've got to restart a PC, otherwise it's not going to connect.
Yeah.
Like you won't get this problem with a normal, direct port connection. It's just.
Well, I did have that problem with my index, and then Valve sent me a new index.
Well, I don't know what it says. It's happened before. Like it just randomly disconnects. The software don't like it. I have to restart. It's just annoying.
Does this happen while you're working?
I've had problems with like sometimes connecting it and stuff. Yeah, it's not ideal. It really isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It needs to be improved.
Yeah. All right.
All right, then let's go.
All right. See you later.
Are you gonna edit that in? Or are you gonna just leave that in?
Oh, this part? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in.
Cool.
All right.
That'll be good.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Later.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. If you're still listening.
Yeah.
See ya.